So glycolysis. The glycolysis, it is taking place in the cytoplasm of all the cells. During aerobic condition, it will lead to pyruvic acid, whereas during anaerobic condition, lactic acid will be formed. This glycolysis is also called as EMP pathway. So what is the significance of this glycolysis? So we are having RBCs. In RBCs, there is no mitochondria, right? So anaerobic glycolysis is the only energy yielding process in RBC. So in our muscles, when we are doing strenuous exercises, so there a condition comes where our muscle cells are lacking oxygen. At that time, anaerobic glycolysis form the major source of energy. Our normal fasting plasma glucose is between 70 to 110 milligram per deciliter. So even when we are having a heavy carbohydrate meal, it will rise. But in a normal person, it does not go beyond 150 milligram per deciliter. So going on to the glycolysis, we are having the glucose will be converted into, we are having two phases, preparative phase and payoff phase. So the preparative phase is involving phosphorylation and the splitting. The payoff stage is when we are yielding ATP from this compound. So at first the glucose, it will be converted into glucose 6-phosphate by the enzyme hexokinase. ATP will be used in the presence of magnesium. So you can see it is an irreversible step, hexokinase. So it can be hexokinase or glucokinase. There is slight difference between them. So the difference between the hexokinase and the glucokinase. The hexokinase is present in all the tissues of the body, whereas the glucokinase is present especially at the liver and the beta cells of pancreas. Or we can say only in liver. So this glucokinase, it is highly specific. That means only on glucose. Whereas the other one is, it will act on glucose, fructose or mannose. So this glucokinase, it is induced by insulin and it is having very low affinity for glucose. So even when our blood glucose is very low, the glucose is utilized by body cells using hexokinase. Whereas the glucokinase act only when the blood glucose level is more than 100 milligram per deciliter. So the glucose 6-phosphate is converted to fructose 6-phosphate by an isomerase, phosphohexose isomerase. The fructose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate by another kinase. ATP is used here, phosphofructokinase. This is also an irreversible step. So one thing to mention is that we are having glucose transporters which are bidirectional, right? So after when the glucose enters to the cell, it becomes phosphorylated as glucose 6-phosphate, and so that it does not escape. So it is a committed step for cellular metabolism, because this glucose 6-phosphate can not only in glycolysis, it does not go only to glycolysis, it has other pathways also. Moreover, hexokinase, it is a rate limiting enzyme. But in the case of glycolysis, the rate limiting enzyme is phosphofructokinase, PFK1, and that is a committed step for glycolysis. So this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate will be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. That means it will be splitted by using aldolase. So these two are isomers. Until this is a preparative phase. Now comes the payoff phase. So this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. So the enzyme is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. NADH plus H plus is synthesized and an inorganic phosphate is added here. So this is also a reversible reaction. So in the case of aerobic respiration, it will be this NADH plus H plus will be taken into the mitochondria by malate aspartate shuttle. And from 1 NADH plus H plus we will get 2.5 ATP. As there is 2 glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate from 1 glucose molecule, we will get 2 into 2.5, that is 5 ATP. So this 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate will be converted into 3-phosphoglycerate. So an ATP is synthesized. So 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate kinase. It is a reversible step. So this 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate kinase, this is the only kinase which is having a reversible reaction, which is involved in a reversible reaction. So from the 3-phosphoglycerate, it forms 2-phosphoglycerate. So phosphoglyceromutase, it is an isomerization reaction. So from the 2-phosphoglycerate, we will get phosphoenol pyruvate. Enolase will be acting. And from the phosphoenol pyruvate, we will get pyruvic acid. The enzyme acting on is pyruvate kinase. So ATP will be synthesized. Here we are having two phase. That means if the condition is favorable, that is, it is an aerobic condition, and if the mitochondria is available, it will go for the pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme will be acting. But in the case of anaerobic condition, lactic acid is found. The enzyme acting on is lactate dehydrogenase. The NADH plus H plus synthesized above will be used up here. So the ATP energy level is low in the case of anaerobic respiration. So the iodoacetate and the aspartate can inhibit the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. The action of aspartate is peculiar. It will reduce the availability of inorganic phosphate. Okay, and one more thing is that the enolase will be inhibited by fluoride. So that is a reaction. That means when we are collecting the blood for glucose estimation, we will add a fluoride, so that to avoid getting the false value. So one thing I have to mention is that there is a cycle which is called as a Rapaport-Lubering cycle. It is a bisphosphate shunt. So in the RBCs, there is a bypass step operating. That is, at the level of 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid, it will be converted into 2,3 bisphosphoglycerate by the action of bisphosphoglycerate mutase. So this 2,3 bisphosphoglycerate will eventually become 3-phosphoglycerate. But in this reaction, ATP is not synthesized. But there is a significance for this step. So during shunting, you can see 2,3 BPG is synthesized. So when there is a need of oxygen unloading, this 2,3 DPG will help in the shift of curve to right side. Right shift, it will help in the right shift. And especially in the fetal hemoglobin, this 2,3 DPG has no effect, because the fetus has to collect, the fetus is having very high affinity for oxygen, right? That means it has to utilize the oxygen from mother. So the effect of 2,3 BPG on fetal hemoglobin is nil. So going for the energy calculation, we are 2 ATPs utilized. That is hexokinase and at the level of phosphofructokinase. 4 ATPs produced, 2 ATP at the level of pyruvate kinase and 2 ATP at the level of 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate kinase. So net ATP is 2 ATP in case of anaerobic glycolysis. In the case of aerobic glycolysis, there is production of 2 NADH plus H plus. So 1 NADH plus H plus means 2.5 ATP. 2 NADH plus H plus means 5 ATP. So altogether in aerobic glycolysis, there is 9 minus 2, that is 7 ATP. So how the glycolysis is regulated? So one thing, it is regulated in two types. That is, one is based on hormone, and the second one is based on allosteric modification. So the hormonal level means we are having insulin and glucagon, right? So in the fed state, the insulin level will be high. So this insulin, understand like this, during fed state, there will be high level of insulin. So it will dephosphorylate the enzymes of glycolysis. That means they become active. Whereas the glucagon will phosphorylate the enzymes. And the glycolytic enzymes will be inhibited. Hence glycolysis will be inhibited. So this is by covalent modification. That means we are adding phosphorylation, no? So this is by covalent modification. So in allostatic regulation, we should keep one thing in mind. That is, the product will inhibit, whereas the reactant will activate the enzyme. So here you can see hexokinase. It is inhibited by fructose 6-phosphate. It is a product, right? The PFK is activated by fructose 6-phosphate, which is a reactant. It is inhibited by ATP, which is a product. Citric acid, it is a product. We can say because citric acid cycle eventually leading into citric acid cycle, it is considered as a product. Low pH, acidic medium. So when it is going for anaerobic glycolysis, synthesis of lactic acid will result in reducing the pH. So low pH is a product, is on product side. So PFK will be inhibited by lower pH level. Now coming on to the pyruvate kinase, fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. It is on the reactant side, so it is an activator. Whereas the ATP, which is on the product side, is an inhibitor. So this is a malate aspartate shuttle which help in transferring NADH plus H plus into the mitochondria. And now how the cancer cells are related with this glycolysis. So in the cancer cells there is plenty of glucose. They will utilize plenty of glucose. And even though oxygen is present, that means even the aerobic condition is present, they will be synthesizing lactic acid. So there will be low energy will be synthesized, right? That means they will use more and more glucose molecules. That is why the cancer cells utilize more glucose. There is no defect in the mitochondrial enzymes or anything. So the actual reason of this is metabolic reprogramming. Earlier it was believed of Warburg hypothesis, but now it is the actual reason is due to metabolic reprogramming. So in that case, pyruvate kinase M1. So normal case, pyruvate kinase M1, which is a tetramer, is acting, whereas in the cancer cells, pyruvate kinase M2, which is a dimer, is acting. So comparing with the pyruvate kinase M1, its activity, the activity of pyruvate kinase M2 is low. So it will be going for lactic acid synthesis. So this metabolic reprogramming is a result why the cancer cells utilize more glucose molecules.